Now we have Dr. Ogunsola Akintunde, an economic expert who is joining us to have a discussion on this topic. Thank you so much for joining us at this time.
All right, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to.
Yes, so what's your reaction on Tinubu writing to the House of Representatives for consent to borrow over 1.8 trillion naira to fund 2024 budget deficit?
Yeah, my reaction is just that it's a borrowing that has been, approved from when the budget was approved, in the beginning of the year. The 2024 budget has a budget deficit of more than about 6 trillion. So now, it is now that the president wants to do the borrowing that National Assembly has approved when they were actually approving the budget. So this money is going to be used to finance the capital portion of the 2024 budget. Remember that the 2024 budget is not going to close, especially the capital side, is not closing at December. Rather, it will overlap into 2025, even up to May. So that money will be used for capital projects for 2024 budget.
On the budget other than borrowing? Is there a better option? Go ahead.
Of course, when budgets are passed, we already have a financial plan and we have already planned to borrow, because when they say we are going to be having a budget deficit, they're already saying, where are you going to get the deficit from? It's going to come from borrowings, and National Assembly approved the budget. The same thing is about to happen again. 2025 budget is going to have the highest deficit ever, 13 trillion. And this deficit will obviously be financed from borrowings. So, except if government is going to cut down some of their plans and programs, so that the plans and programs will be within the limit, within the confines of the amount of revenue that we can generate. But if the government plans and programs is far above the revenue that they can generate, obviously, they have already planned to borrow. So, government has planned to borrow and National Assembly approved it. If government can reduce their programs and plans, we might not borrow again. Our revenue will be enough. So that's where the problem is actually coming from.
All right, so finally, what would be your advice to the federal government on budget funding going forward?
Yes, my advice for government on budget funding will be that government can spread projects within the term of 4 years. They must not complete the project within one fiscal year budget. Instead of us borrowing so much to complete a project within 1 year, they can spread the project within 3 years. Let's say if they don't want to take it to 4 years. So if they can spread it to 3 years, at least the money that they will use to finance that project over 3 years might not lead us to borrowing. But if they want to complete a road within 1 year budget, then that will lead us to borrowing and borrowing and borrowing again.
All right, thank you so much for being part of the news at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
All right, that was Dr. Ogunsola Akintunde, an economic expert. And now we carry the rest of the story.